come up on a point of order. You just take notes, and when it will be your time to speak, you count on me and shoot me down, and shoot my ideas down. But as far as the guidance from the chair is concerned, I agree. I find it very wrong for me to veer into the persona of another senator. And if Hansard is showing, may I withdraw and apologize. Madam Speaker, having said that, it leaves me with only 2 points. I'm supporting this bill because the bill wants to ensure that the administration of that fund is not abused. It should be done within the framework of law. But then, Madam Speaker, as I do so, I'm worried because in the Memorandum of Objects and Reasons, we are told that these are services to be rendered in marginalized areas. Marginalized areas. Under the Constitution of Kenya, marginalized areas are identified by this Constitution. But in this bill, and there's nothing the chairman can do, in this bill, the fund is being administered to areas with the perceived highest levels of poverty. And the intention was for marginalized areas. So, the criteria for which we cannot blame ourselves, which was allowed by our predecessors, they are veered from marginalized areas and admitted a criteria that then expands the number of counties that are beneficiaries purely because pockets of poverty have been found in those areas. A hard-working Kenyan who is a stickler to the law can go to court and actually find that this bill is unconstitutional because it is attempting to administer money to areas of highest poverty instead of money going to marginalized areas. But that is for a debate for another day when CRA will bring the current formula that they are working on. I support it nevertheless, but now I'm on record. The second point is that we are extending the pendency of the period for affirmative action because we have not used the money in the beginning. This we must support. I suspect that even after we have extended the period we have given, at the end of it, there might still be need for us to extend it even more. Why, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker? It's because I feel bitter that children in the so-called, the former frontier districts, children drink dirty water. The same water where camels pee, where wildlife pee. The same water where their livestock pee. Our children, the children of Kenya, purely because of being in marginalized areas, are forced to use that kind of unhygienic water. I am against it, and therefore, my dream is that this House will one day humble itself and allow all equalization funds to concentrate only in those 14 counties that we had identified in the year 2013. Madam Speaker, let me ask you, and I'm not challenging you, I'm just provoking your mind as a mother, a good mother. Can you imagine a county, I know that county, I know you know where it is, a county called Murang'a, with its geographical, climatic advantage relative to a county called Marsabit. Now Murang'a is competing with Marsabit, with the Turkana, in sharing for this little fund. This is why I say let us rise above these things and let just the money go and pull those Kenyans. I came from Britain the other day, and a thought struck me, Mr. Chairman. When I was landing in the morning, I looked at London, and I said, my, what do they see when they are landing here? It's going to take us probably 200 years to remove our manyatas, to remove our slums. So if there is something we can do affirmative so that that correction can be done, let us do it. Madam Speaker, with those many remarks, I support very strongly that this money be administered well.
Sorry, I beg to move that Equalization Fund Administration Bill 2023, which is Senate Bill number 4 of 2023, be now moved for a second time. The bill proposes to establish administrative structures for efficient management of the fund, as well as efficient utilization of the fund. Madam Speaker, Equalization Fund was established under Article 204 of the Constitution of Kenya, and it provides for improvement of basic services like water, roads, electricity, and health services to counties that were considered as marginalized counties. And Madam Speaker, I've had quite a bit of discussion in the House here where marginalization was equated to poverty and poverty equated to marginalization. It's worthwhile to create an understanding that marginalization is not equal to poverty, neither is poverty equal to marginalization, that marginalization is a state of underdevelopment and poverty arising from deliberate resource denial by successive governments, starting from colonial administration to date. And the drafters of the Constitution envisaged Equalization Fund to be able to address this, to bring these areas that are gravely underdeveloped to a level, to enjoy a level of services that is enjoyed by the rest of the country. The Commission on Revenue Allocation should provide clear description of the term marginalized areas, and this, misunderstanding where poverty is equated to marginalization and marginalization equated to poverty, where urban poor and pockets of poverty has been identified as marginalized areas need to be corrected so that the clear term of what marginalization entails, which is resulting from a state of deliberate resource denial by successive governments, starting from the government, the colonial government, followed by all other governments before the advent of devolution, that necessitated, that created a situation of grave underdevelopment in selected counties. That is what the Constitution termed as marginalized areas initially. However, this has been subjected to quite a bit of definition from many areas, participants, to a level that now that has been diluted so much that equalization is presupposed to mean poverty, and the arguments has followed that line. Madam Speaker, to ensure efficient utilization and seamless implementation of the fund, the Equalization Fund should only be utilized indirectly as conditional grant to counties as per the ruling of the court in line with the case as I've just mentioned. Therefore, the committee recommends, having considered all these inputs, the bill to be approved by the Senate as amended and recommended by the committee. I beg to move and request Senator Tapitha to second.